Wow, incredible.
These are the greatest bits ever.
Here we are, the archive.
Yeah. Welcome to the Adidas archive. My name is Freddie. I'm the collection manager for football here, and I can guide you through our collection. Let's go in. So we're in the archive. The thing is, we're wearing gloves to protect the legacy of the brand. That's also why we have special climate conditions. So we have 18 degrees, 55% humidity, because we want to store the product for the next decades or hopefully centuries. But let's start chronologically with the oldest shoe we're having. So follow me. Adi Dassler is from a shoemaker's family. And in the 1920s, he started with his brother Rudolf, the Brother Dassler Shoe Factory, and they specialized on sports shoes. The oldest shoe we have in the archive was from 1925. It is of course handmade by Adi Dassler, and it is a sprint spike.
The spikes on there.
Back in the days, the shoes were laced around the ankle to get more stability in. And you can also touch it. It's really thin and soft leather.
Wow, I'm surprised how light it is. Yeah, really surprised how light it is.
So this is the oldest shoe, 100 years old.
Incredible.
The first ever gold medal, which was won in a Dassler spike, was 1928. And as you can see here, Lina Radke, she was an 800-meter runner. The spikes are way shorter.
Slightly smaller, yeah.
After the war, the two brothers had a huge argument and basically said, we're gonna split the company today. So they told their employees who wants to stay with Rudolf and who wants to stay with Adi. They split in 1948. For Adi, he wanted to differentiate from his brother. So for him, it was really important that his brand is seen. So he wanted to have a clearly visible logo. That's why he was testing with a variety of stripes. And then he found out with 3 stripes, he has the best visibility of his logo. And here you can see this shoe had 2 stripes before and the third one is added afterwards. And this is the oldest 3-stripe shoe you can hold in your hands.
Oh, wow.
Again, we're going back to 1950. And back then, Adi used like really straightforward names. I'll tell you the name in German first, and maybe you can guess what's the name of the shoe. Fußballstiefel für verschneite und vereiste Fußballplätze. You have no clue, right?
I heard football.
So it's a football boot for icy and snowy football pitches.
Oh, very specific.
So Adi created a shoe, 1950, with no studs, just an outsole which gave you more traction and these 3 holes. So ice and snow melted and it built natural studs in these holes.
Wow.
Gave the players so much more traction. Journalists saw players playing in these shoes and said, oh, it looks like those guys are dancing samba around the other guys. So that's where the name comes from for this shoe. And the nickname is the shoe of the lifestyle sneaker, which we know today. This is the original Samba.
Wow.
And then, when indoor football or futsal became more popular, they remade a shoe with also a grippy outsole, but for indoor football, with the turning point that you can turn. So this feature has a function on the shoe. But these 3, we call it suction cups. They're basically just an homage to the shoe here.
That's incredible.
And of course, it features the famous TAW. And the idea behind the TAW is pretty simple. It's there to protect the underlaying stitch line. So it's 2 leather parts stitched together here, stitched together here. And of course, there are enormous forces when you play football on those stitch lines. So they added another layer of material, and this makes the iconic TAW.
Nice.
Us. Adi created a football boot for the 1954 World Cup.
Incredible.
Exclusively for the German team. The World Cup was in Switzerland, so what's the name of the shoe? Obviously, it's Argentina. Because for Adi, the football culture rooted in Latin America.
Yeah. Right.
So he created a football shoe with thinner and softer leather for a better touch. Also, the leather was not soaking up so much water. More laces for a better fit. So he gave these shoes to the German players exclusively. So if you want to compare it with the other one, it is crazy. So they were playing the Hungarians in the first match of the World Cup, and Germany was losing 8-3 in dry conditions. In Germany, we still call it the miracle of Bern, as you might have heard the story. Germany were lucky to make it to the final. Hungary was making it to the final and were the clear favorites. Of course, everyone said Hungary is going to win. But on the day of the final, it was raining. So Adi was with the team also in training camp before, so he knew exactly for which pitch conditions he needed which kind of studs. So he changed the studs of the players before the match. And then they had better traction, scored the winning goal and became world champions. Wow. The first time in 1954. Wow. And the Hungarians until today say it was material cheating. Because really, if you have the two in your hands, 630 gram, 350 gram, and then when this one got wet, like 2 kilograms, when this one got wet, like 600, 700 grams, and way better traction because those studs got wobbly, so he had no traction at all. Adi helped them with his innovation to become world champions for the first time. Remember this shoe for a story later. Let's head over here, because Adi always had the idea to make the outsole out of nylon, which is more flexible. But in the beginning, of course, we had problems that was bending too much in the midfoot section. They made this innovation finally work for the World Cup in 1966. And as you can see here, it gives the players stability in the midfoot area, but it's also the first shoe that gives players flexibility in the forefoot area. And this is the original shoe worn in the final. Wow. By the player by the name of Bobby Moore.
Wow. My uncle was a huge West Ham fan. He passed away, unfortunately, and when his first daughter had a boy, she called him Bobby after Bobby Moore in his memory. Really? So yeah, so it's quite emotional looking at this.
We also got a second shoe from the World Cup 1966, but in a different condition, because after the final, this shoe got bronzed.
Oh wow.
And this is Jeffrey Hurst's shoe.
Hat-trick hero.
I told you another special shoe, another surprise for you. This shoe was worn by another famous German player, 1970. He loved his shoes so much when they were like worn in that he played them until he has holes in the shoe, as you can see here. German legend.
Would it be Beckenbauer, 70 or yeah, Beckenbauer?
It's the Cosmos, and it's a funny coincidence because 8 years later in 1978 he then transferred to Cosmos New York. Okay. But that's the original shoe from the 1970 season. So in 1967, Adidas started creating apparel. The oldest piece we have here from 1967, the famous Franz Beckenbauer tracksuit. We of course had the 3 stripes on the arms, but there's one thing missing.
There's no logo.
There is no logo because at that time we didn't have a company logo except the 3 stripes. So during the 1970s World Cup, they decided they need a company logo on the chest to also identify the players and the brands from the front. So Käthe Dassler, she briefed in an agency from Nuremberg, and she loved flowers. So she wanted to have a floral element representing the number 3 and bearing the 3 stripes. So for the Olympic Games in 1972, the trefoil was created. So since 1972, we're having the trefoil on apparel. Since the mid-70s, we have it on footwear. And this is a prototype. And by the way, the oldest football jersey we have in our archive, it's from 1973. It's the World Cup dress, so made for the World Cup in 1974.
Wow.
Wow.
See that? Adi was using different materials, different leathers, and then he found out that the shoes are not durable as he wanted to. So he thought maybe in some areas he needs to add another layer of material on the shoe to make it more durable. So he was testing with different materials. In one way, it almost rips off the glove, and the other way, it's smooth.
Is it like a crocodile or something?
No. What's the most dangerous?
Shark.
It's shark skin.
Really?
So never pet a shark in the wrong direction if you ever have the chance. So he made one model like this with a clean kicking surface here because it's the first ever football boot with asymmetrical lacing to have a cleaner kicking surface here. And he added this material on top, on the inside and also on the outside. Oh, yeah. It gave the players enormous grip. The only problem was that this material was actually ruining the leather balls, so he couldn't continue this idea because it gave the players too much grip, was ruining the leather balls. So this is the predecessor of the Predator, but we didn't have the materials ready at that time. So luckily, beginning of the 1990s, a former Liverpool player,
Craig Johnston,
he came up with another idea. So he glued parts of a tennis table racket onto the shoe to give the players more grip. And this is the shoe, the first Predator from 1994.
Amazing.
As you can see, it was featuring the rubber elements, giving the players more grip, and also it's featuring a specific outsole, which give the players more power into their kicks. And then the Predator Precision, with an even more iconic design to make it look faster. We have the 3 stripes going around the shoe, and here you can see now it's real small rubber islands, and of course the fold-over tongue was held down with Velcro. The Velcro was working fine when it was dry, but sometimes when it was wet or muddy, the Velcro didn't hold the tongue down. So we have to come up with a new idea. And the idea was to attach an elastic band onto the shoe. And this is really the iconic face of the Predator, having the fold-over tongue held down with this elastic band. And this was launched in 2002 with the Predator Mania for the World Cup in Japan and South Korea.
These are the bits, mate. These are the greatest bits ever. The feeling I got, I was the most excited I've ever been about any sort of product on my feet. Like I can still remember the day of like running. We went straight up to the football pitch to play in them and just feeling like you couldn't stop looking at them as you were playing.
I told you to remember the 1954 boot. There's a connection. The F50 from 2004 is an homage to the 1954 revolutionary Argentina boot because it's the 50th anniversary, and that's where the name comes from. F for fast and 50 for the 50th anniversary. And of course they feature leather in the front for a soft touch and mesh material in the back to reduce the weight, because at that time we had the Predator silo, and feedback from players was, for the fast players, we need a lighter shoe. And for the more agile guys, so we created the F50 range. But then the pro players' feedback was, the F50 needs to get lighter. So we want to reduce the material and the weight of the boot dramatically. And this boot here is the first, which is below 200 grams, the F50 from 2010. And as you can see here, it uses thin synthetic material, some TPU material to give more stability, but also the new sprint frame outsole to reduce the weight of the outsole. And we're still using the sprint frame in today's boots to make the boots really light. So now we talked about shoes, footwear, apparel. Let's talk about the balls. Until, let's say, the mid-60s, footballs were just brown leather balls played on green grass. So if you sometimes are lucky and see one of the old videos from that time, you can hardly see the ball, especially when it was black and white TV. Adi had the idea of creating a ball with white and black panels. He called that ball Telstar, which is an abbreviation for television star, because he created a ball for better visibility on TV. This ball is really special because it was used in the World Cup in Mexico in 1970. World Cup 1978 in Argentina, of course we had to name the ball Tango, and we came up with a new design which is really legendary.
Oh, wow, yeah, that is iconic.
I think each kid knows the ball either with that design or with the Telstar design.
Yeah.
And then of course, the most discussed football ever. We started adding some texture on the upper, which created a vacuum behind the ball. So good players were able to play better with the help of that vacuum, or shoot differently with the help of this technology. And then of course from the last World Cup.
Nice.
2022 World Cup.
Can we take this outside and go and have a kick up?
This is one of the objects that will never ever leave the archive again. And then now you need to tell me where you have been when I show you the next 2 balls. Does it remind you of something?
Yeah, it's 2005.
So I was at this game. Craig would have been a little bit too young to go to Istanbul, but I was at the game. You know, to be there, just so fortunate, and to see the ball from the miracle of Istanbul. It was a miracle. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
I've got another word for it. It's unbelievable to see it. Thank you so much for showing us this.
And then?
Ah, wow, Madrid. Yeah, I was at this game. Obviously, first time seeing Liverpool win the European Cup in the flesh. After the heartbreak of the previous season getting beaten in Kiev. It just forever will remind me of Divock Origi slotting in the bottom corner.
On the way out, one ask from my side. Can you guys please sign our golden book?
Yes.
Wow,
yeah,
what an
we'd
honour,
love to,
what an
yeah.
honour. That was incredible. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Really
guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much, that was
Great
brilliant.
having you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for visiting.
Thank you.